I did everything humanly possible to try to save my mother. But she was hell-bent on destruction, like her own. And it's up for debate whether or not, she could help it. But as my Joe is quick to point out, in the end it doesn't matter. The end result is the same. Whether or not my mom could help it, the end result was the same. And she was fucking killing me. Joe would be like, just being the short amount of time I was with your mom, any given moment, which sometimes was quite some time. If I had to go to the bank and do things, or get proof of funds, or this, that, things took time. I had to sit down with this or that, or, any given number of things, or go into the farm, get her meds and have to wait in line, or go to the grocery store, Joe called my mom like a psychic vampire. Just draining. Like, and he wasn't with her 24/7. Comcast came, got the second TV working. It was a faulty box. So, I guess supposedly I won't get charged $100, but they didn't charge me the $100 the last time, and they were supposed to, so it would all come out in the wash anyway if I got charged this time, even though he says, I'm not going to charge you, it was a faulty box. But also, it's a Samsung, 15-year-old Samsung plasma TV. And he said two things were going on at the same time, because I'm like, if you said if it's a faulty box, you said it's a faulty box, yet you also said you had to lower this thing from 1080 to 720, and it's negligible. He said, I've yet to meet anyone who can even tell the difference. The Roku TV that we got for free is 4,000K, but my common sense tells me, so it was going like that with it even with the brand new box that he replaced it with. Because he was trying to get away with not having to do it like my internet, in here, and going down with the wire through the floor. He's like, there's no reason this Wi-Fi box shouldn't work. Your room is right next door. So the box is right next door, and it turned out it was just a faulty box we got in the kit that we picked up in person at a Comcast store in person, okay? It was just one of those stores, not like a corporate thing or anything. Corporate places, one of those, stores. But, they're allowed to do stuff that represent, whatever they're called. So he put it down. So because I'm always like asking questions, always like wondering and curious, like what. So if you put in a new box, then why couldn't it stay at 1080? Because he's like, there's two things going on. So he thought that maybe with that box, when he put it to 720, it would fix it. And it didn't. It went frozen instead of going like that. So then, but in any case, the bottom line is it's fixed, and I have a TV in my mom's bedroom. She's highly likely never going to see. But this wasn't her just falling, you understand? This was her doing more than once and me catching her because I'm sleeping potentially in the bed with her. And just as an aside, I've been sleeping in my bed over these past couple nights and no excruciating leg cramps. So the leg cramps could have something to do with her softer bed that I don't particularly care for, although, you know, I would still like to watch TV in the bed sometimes, considering I have nothing but a hard chair to sit on to watch the beautiful TV in the living room, you know. That's not fun. I watched Mufasa the Lion King, and, you know, it's not fun. It's not fun to be out there and sitting in the hard chair. Even though I do it at my computer, it's different trying to watch a movie. Technically, I could watch the movie, I guess, on my small monitor and be in this bed. Like I said, I've been sleeping with this comforter that it wasn't totally, it was just a tiny bit of pee that's dried because it was from like a week ago, but still. And I put her wheelchair in there because I don't want to look at it. If I go in there and watch TV and lay in a bed, then I have to look at it. But see, her ever deceptive, cunning brain or whatever that other people, you know, professionals have noticed and pointed out to me in the past in Massachusetts, okay? Don't think they haven't. Your mother's sly, she's slick, she's cunning. And the first time she was in here, she used the hospital phone to call 911. And she's pulling out her IVs. And of course now I'm getting tons and tons of voicemails. When am I coming home? And they told me they were going to sit down with her and tell her. But they don't want to do it either, see? They told me they were going to sit down and tell her she has to go into rehab. But even that, I mean, it's likely that that's going to be permanent, not necessarily where she goes, though, see? So it's just never-ending living fucking hell, okay? It's just fucking hell. I'm just a walking ball of pain, you know? This isn't a case, oh, she fell. This is a case of her repeatedly not putting herself in danger. I caught her more than once doing what ended up being near fatal for her. And the thing is, all the other things she's been doing, this wasn't fatal. It could have been, but it wasn't. The other things she's been doing over the past 2 fucking weeks so easily could have been fatal. Like Joe said, you had every right to sleep in your own bed. What if you, because your mom's been keeping you up and whatever, even though you're normally a light sleeper, but I've also had to put earplugs in. But again, if I'm right beside her, believe me, I hear everything. It's just muffled. So if she's singing loud and talking for hours because she can't sleep, so she's not going to let me sleep because, like, she wants to drag me down with her, including into the great, you know, unknown, the great beyond, the great whatever, as far as Joe's concerned. You know, it's like, but what if I had just, like, if I was sleeping in my own bed, I would never wear earplugs. No way. I'd have this door open, her door open, okay? And I would not wear earplugs. But she has to call out for me. But what if I was so fucking exhausted that I, like Joe says, you could have slipped into a deep, deep sleep. You had every right to sleep in your bed. And then your mother falls, hits her head, and bleeds to death, and you wake up to that. But she's not falling. She's obsessively, just like, you know, like I liken it to like an animal trying to dig at something, or she's just relentlessly, obsessively, whatever, trying to get into her wheelchair on her own from the bed. Because she remembers doing it when we first moved in here, but then she conveniently forgets when she wasn't able to do it just recently after that, and I had to glide her off the bed. That could have been the tragedy too. You see, any given moment. And then she falls in the bathroom, standing there and balancing and wiping herself. and she doesn't hold on and do it. Okay, it's the same thing she was doing back home, doing in the nursing facility, doing, in the hotel, and it was okay. But once that happened, where she fell even with the walker there, I didn't want her to be doing it again. I wanted to help her because I can help her. It's not like I have to walk away. I'm already helping her get there. I'm already in the vicinity for when she's done. And you know what I mean? Not like I can't just stand there and help her. But then she gets defiant. I don't want your help. Leave me alone. Whatever. Like you just fell last week with the walker right here. I didn't witness it. I don't know what happened. All I know is just let me just be here with you just to know. I'm not wiping her unless I have to help her. I'm there to be there, to keep her balanced, to make sure she doesn't fall. See? That's the whole thing. But that can only work if she sits patiently for the seconds it takes, on the toilet when I have to go and switch out the walker and the witch. I know I'm a broken record, but now, I mean, the reason I'm saying it again because now, I'm getting message after message after message from her. And because they're supposed to do their job, the social worker, they were supposed to sit down, social worker and doctor, and tell her that you're going to a nurse, and I warn them that she's going to be all upset. It doesn't matter. I'm the decision maker. Okay? But to anybody who doesn't, just as usual, anybody who doesn't know the truth via me, it's just going to be like, yeah, she's put me in nursing home, and not just because I fell. Because she's like, I'm walking with the walker now, and I'm fine, whatever. It has nothing to do with that, Mom. It's your mind and making, like, as far as Joe's concerned, you have a death wish. Because why do you keep doing the same thing that has caused you, I'm just the opposite of that. I have numerous times choked, and it wasn't a joke. In fact, back in Massachusetts, in that hotel where I was for those 3 weeks of hell, where I was sick as a dog the entire time. For the entire 3 weeks I was sick. Okay? And I landed in the emergency, as some of you know, if you want, and that was hardly the only time I landed in the emergency over these past just several months. More times in the emergency over these past several months, maybe than in my, not maybe in my entire life, but I don't, whatever. Fact is, I was eating in bed, and I might have been upset about something too, where I start thinking, it doesn't matter. The fact is, I started choking so bad that I was positive if I didn't go out in the hallway and pound on doors or something, I was going to choke to death. And I have partially choked before, as have a lot of us, a lot of people have, but that was the scariest thing. But I learned from it. You see, I am so fucking careful when it comes to eating, because I have nearly choked numerous times where it's scary to me, and I want to, but my mom is missing that part of her. She's choked numerous times, but she just forgets. She's taken that test. It shows there's nothing wrong with her, but we know that she chokes. And I always have to stress to any of these people, I know, well, we'll have our speech therapist look at her. No, they'll look and they'll say she's fine. I'm telling you, you have to be careful of her. You have to make sure she sits up, has plenty of liquids. And I'd really rather have her on what they call, a softer mechanical diet. It's not baby food. It's just softer. It's the same damn food that other people eat, because in that other facility in Massachusetts, when she'd point and she'd be like, why do I don't have that? I'm like, you actually do have that, Mom. It's just ground up. It's the same meal, it's ground up. That's what I found out. But the last facility she was in before this one, she never went to the dining hall or whatever. As far as I know, she always ate in her room. did everything in my power. I mean, Joe goes even farther. He's like, Laura, there's nobody that would have done what you have done for your, you know what I mean? You've just gone above and beyond. But there's just no hope for your mom. She appreciates nothing. She doesn't learn from her mistakes, even when they're near fatal. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm sorry, but there's not. That if I had her come home, which is not happening, she'd still, despite the smashed head, because she's okay. That's what she'd be like. But even when I've said before, like, you nearly fell, but I didn't fall. And this time, Bull, I didn't die, she'd still do it. She'd still try to get into that wheelchair from the bed. And then if I got her the medical bed, where she definitely can get out of that and into her wheelchair just fine, she'd be doing that and not getting me up, or I'd be sleeping in my own bed and she'd be off doing herself, and something tragic could happen because she tries to go to the bathroom by herself. See? But she also does the same fucking thing in any facility she's in. That's why Joe's like this. She's gonna die. There's no hope for her. She does the same thing in any place she's in. That first nursing home she was in Massachusetts, like a little over a year ago, whenever it was. She hadn't been one in years, okay? They don't come in time. It was a low-rated facility, but I've seen even higher-rated ones. It just depends on the staff. They don't come in time. And that first time she got up without a walker or wheelchair because she wasn't approved, she wall crawled to the bathroom. This was over a year ago. That could have been fatal for her. Okay? And then I had to talk to staff who admitted to me that the aides, they're like, oh yeah, your mom's been getting up and whatever. And I'm like, then we have to keep a wheelchair, we have to keep like a walker near her and give her a fighting chance to survive if she's gonna do it anyway. And yes, the bathroom was close to her bed. That's hardly the point. That's when she was in for the whole 100 days, 3 months. And in the end, she did end up falling. We don't know why. We know she was being tormented by other residents, and she woke up, but she fell despite her having the walker. Remember that, if anybody's watched. She fell despite having the walker, and then nobody believed me that she had fallen. We've been here with her all day. She didn't tell us. She doesn't. She hides it. And then it turned out she had like a bruised rib or something. But I forced them to listen to me, and she went to the hospital. I went with her, not in the ambulance, but I went there. And they did all, but she was hiding it. But she was in pain. And when they had their doctor look at her, he's, ouch, we knew. But so that's what she does. But that wasn't her being defiant and walking without anything. That was just, shit happens, things can happen. She fell, but she used the walker to find out. We don't know why she fell, but she did. But that's something different. Dizziness, seizures. Dizziness and seizures are not, what happened where you keep trying to get into that wheelchair, and it's going to be to your fucking death, Mom, and it nearly was. And I'm right there beside you. All you have to do is wake me up. spent hours today doing, same old shit like back in Massachusetts, going through Medicare.gov, finding facilities that, making a list of the high rated ones, the distance from where I live, etc., etc., etc. It's all the same, no matter what state you're in. It's all the same. You know what I mean? It's all some high rated ones, a lot of low rated ones, and you hope. But with my mom's psych history, she's nursing facilities can turn you down for any reason, and the psych history makes it difficult to get her into a good facility. That's reality. Reality also is she did this to herself. I bent over backwards to try to keep her safe, including sleeping in her fucking bed with her. Okay? In the end, it was all for nothing. All those little things I got for her, she won't like, but I don't know. I kept hearing was the CDs smashing. She was obsessively going through them. Just over and over and over again. And that's what she'd do all night long when I had to sleep and she refused to go back to bed, got up in the middle of the night with me, and it was just, I was like this all the time. She's a danger to herself and everyone around her. It doesn't make it any easier, I said in the other video, even one of her staunchest supporters, when I decided to tell him the truth, call him from the hotel, because I called and I was just going to leave a voicemail Sunday. I thought maybe they'd be at church, but he answered, he listened, and he was like, this might upset you, Laura, but you gotta really listen to me. I'm gonna tell you this anyway. You can't let her come home, as in ever. And thank you for telling me, and because he's never going to get it from my mom. From my mom, it's going to be, she's trying to put me in a nursing home, and she's did this, and now I did everything humanly possible now. I've been living a nightmare with her. Me in a state of shock continuously. Like, what are you doing? You just don't learn. Like, you don't learn from what happened to you in Massachusetts. You're falling and breaking your hip. And there's no hope for her. There's nothing I can do. I'm done. Like, I just... I guess sometimes, since it is summer and it's going to go by so fast, I will sit out on my porch by myself and play my music and put my feet up. And, play the music that I bought specifically for her because I needed to find stuff when I was in the even in here that she'll enjoy. I would enjoy, but that she would enjoy as well. Hence buying things like Carrie Underwood's before he cheats and whatever. Disco music, knock on wood. Funky music. Oh, what a night. Band of Gold. I love Bad Day, Daniel Powter. I got that. My mom likes that too. But she doesn't like any rock songs that I like. Nothing I could do. She was just hell-bent on, she just didn't want to accept reality. That's why she'd be in the mirror and pretend, like, why do I have all these wrinkles and why do I have this? Because you're nearly 80 years old. I'm not. I'm a young girl. I'm 50. What does that make me? 20. She just is delusional and but delusional to the point of anger. Anger. Like, what is this? I want clean. I'm gonna be able to get all this, and she just couldn't take it. That's why I don't think they have mirrors in nursing facilities. Believe me, I'll be getting a lot of voicemails once, probably filled with venom. They're nice now. Like, why don't you come and get me? When are you coming to get me? I'm ready to come home. I'm ready to come home, Laura. You better come and get me now. Now. So many voicemails, and I'm not trying to ignore her and not talk to her. I just need them to talk to her first and don't know if they're actually doing it. They say they're going to do it, and I tell them to do it, but I can't make them do it, see? And they're not looking forward to that because you already had her calling 911 and ripping out her IVs when she first got there. They know she's going to have a fit.